worldwide network of clubs that we call Toastmasters International. And that network is much closer together today than it ever has been. One of the positive outcomes of the pandemic is the shrinking of the global community of Toastmasters. It's an effort that we started deliberately about 15 years ago, and the pandemic kind of rushed it upon us in a way that we certainly didn't expect. But when we join a club, I, as the individual, I commit my time, my dues, in exchange for the opportunity to experience what? What Smedley envisioned and designed all those years ago. The meeting that I described hypothetically, and we all thought through and thought, yeah, I can do that, yeah, I can do that, is very, very similar to the meetings of the 1920s and 30s. There are variations. There was, who was it from Malaysia? Patricia, I think you said you were from Kuala Lumpur. I went to a club in Kuala Lumpur that had parts of the meeting that I had never heard of or seen before. It was pretty awesome. It was very funny. And even though I didn't speak the language that the jokes were in, I still got the body language, and the humor was fantastic. So next time you're in Kuala Lumpur, Patricia invites you to her club meeting. So we commit ourselves to the club, and the club commits back to us. And I would guess that if I individually looked you in the eye and said, do you want every member of every club to have an amazing experience, that you would say yes. You've dedicated endless time, endless hours to building yourself, but also to building Toastmasters if you're joining us here today. So let's start from the ground up and consider a few things. And if I can see you on the screen, do not hesitate to jump in. I'm going, and not verbally, but, gesture, please. I'm going to read something that you'll all recognize. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Who believes that? Raise your hands. 100% of us, right? We believe this. It's probably on the agenda at the beginning of our meetings. The sergeant at arms may hustle through it at the beginning of the meeting because you got to start on time, and we're always crunched for time. And I'm not sure that we take enough time to ponder the club mission and to really think about it. There are a handful of people here today who have served on the board of directors. And if you were in the right cycle at the right time while we were working on a strategic plan, you spent time with the club mission, hours, a half day perhaps, reviewing every single word in the club mission and determining if this is really what we think organizationally, and if this is really what we want to happen in every club. So I'm going to break it down just a little bit here, and my time is moving along, Alex, so I'm going to hustle. We provide. Who's we? Who's the we and we provide? All of us, right? Every single one of us. This isn't the club officers. This isn't the old timers. This is every single member of the club. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience. We're not overly harsh with our evaluations. We applaud, sometimes a little too much, but it's important. The applause is important. A positive learning experience in which members are empowered. It doesn't say we teach. It says members are empowered, very deliberately, because it's your choice. What's your speed? What's your level of learning? How fast are you going to do this? Members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence. Yes, we know that. There's not a person at this meeting who doesn't have greater self-confidence today than they did the first day they walked into a club. If you haven't, send me an email and we should talk. But everyone I've ever asked that question has said yes. And personal growth, very obviously and clearly, we've all experienced personal growth. So the next time at your club meeting, somebody doesn't show up to give their speech, instead of having you or another old-timer give a 7-minute table topic, pull out the club mission, break it down like that, walk through it, talk about it, and get commitment from the members of your club. So as descendants of those members of those first club meetings, we all have a part to play, a role in the continuation, the expansion of Smedley's gift to us. We are his legacy. We're their legacy. We're this club's legacy. This club, Club One, we are the legacy 100 years later. And there are members now and in the future who will be your legacy. People you invited to come to the meeting. People who attend a club that you started. People who listened to your speech or answered your table topic. It's our role, each and every one of us, to ensure that every person who comes to the meeting enjoys and benefits from an amazing meeting and continues to have a high value, high quality experience. And I ask you to look deep down inside of yourself and think about your contribution and your part in supporting the club or clubs that you belong to and ensuring that members have great experiences. To close here, let's take a journey into our memories. Let's think about when we first joined a club and found value in being a part of Toastmasters. Not why we joined, but what we experienced in those first few meetings. What did it feel like? What did we learn? What value did we gain personally? What were the experiences that caused you to stay in Toastmasters, to become a true believer in the program? Think about a significant one of those and hold on to it. And I'll share my memory with you. Our new member in my club in Rancho Santa Margarita, California, Founders District Club 9113, had just been called on for table topics. They didn't volunteer, and as they walked to the lectern, they were mostly looking at their shoes. The VPE, who just the week before had had coffee with the new member and quietly filled out the member interest survey, and we did this religiously in that club. They knew the member's primary goal was to get comfortable with small talk, and what better way than table topics. Their job was in the service industry, and they talked to clients all day long while performing the service. The VPE shared this info with the table topics master and suggested it was perhaps time to call on them, their first table topic. A special question was prepared, and this is the moment I will never forget. They stood up and walked to the front of the room, stood behind the lectern, looked around, and froze. Started to speak, unsuccessfully, a few times. Unsuccessfully. I don't think there were 3 or 4 complete words. The table topics master, paying close attention, standing close by, took a couple of steps closer and relieved them of the responsibility to keep talking. And they quickly walked down the edge of the table and sat down. I don't know if they even heard the applause, lost in thought and embarrassment. Next time, they spoke for nearly 90 seconds. And the next time, for 2 minutes. And from then on, the timer needed to flash the red light to get them to wrap up. It's one of the most beautiful memories I have from my early club experiences, and I cherish that. And I'm sure that each of us has had similar experiences. Maybe you were the speaker who couldn't speak. Maybe you were the VPE. Maybe you were the person who coached and mentored a member. All of these moments connect us together. The moments connect us to this club, to Smedley Chapter 1. And each of us is part of this legacy. Back to you, Toastmaster meeting.